Yes, this is the first of webinars coming at you. Ingredients: sourdough bread, fermented, healthy fats in your avocado, complete protein in your tofu. These are things that I recommend, and the spinach is now in this bag. It's full of antioxidants, greens, which are good for your skin health, and then we're going straight in the pan. So, is there any questions you would like to even ask me before I can get them touched as I'm doing a bit of cooking in relation to the foods that we'll be eating? Any questions?
Tofu, I've never tried it. Even just to find out about it.
I'll tell you exactly what it is. So tofu is a complete protein. That means it comes from beans. So beans are very important to get organically due to the fact that when you get a bean, they can be sprayed. They can be genetically modified. That means so they are something that is one of the foods I recommend that you to definitely have organically. So straight away, what you're doing is you're avoiding the likes of chemicals, but you're still getting a complete protein. It's a meat substitute. So that means it's what I recommend to you to consume organically due to the fact that better multitask is different. So what it is a bean. So the bean that can be joined. Tracy, no, laughing. Great. So what it is it's soft to taste. It's typically, I get it at Super Value, but you can get it at any of your local stores. This is the brand that I use. And maybe I should put it up there. It's not as high as chicken, fish, turkey, or eggs, but that just means you get to eat more of it. You get to eat more. And it's full of fiber. That's the difference between this and a meat source. Do we have any meat? Yes, I do. I'm going to show you some meat. Wait there one moment.
Oh, your dog is so cute.
My emotional support animal.
Oh,
Isn't that lovely? So the difference between these two are one contains fiber and one doesn't. They both still contain nine essential amino acids, but the difference is actually they're both organic, but the difference is this has fiber, this doesn't. This contains high omega-3, this doesn't. We're going to use an extra virgin olive oil that has omega-3. So it's kind of like which is better. Thing is, you like comparing oranges and apples. They're both different. Like apples are a natural prebiotic, which is good for your gut health. Oranges are high on vitamin C than an apple. But the thing is, they're not the same. They're not the same. They both have benefits to them. So that's organic mince right there. We're making a meal on that with TikTok. This is a plant-based protein that more people would improve the likes of their gut health because red meat is hard to digest, but it's important for women to have a little bit of red meat in their diet due to the fact that red meat is important for energy levels. Iron is carried in the blood. As a result of that, you're on a winner. So extra virgin olive oil is the first item. Going into the pan. Going into a non-stick pan. Straight away. Healthy fats are essential in the diet. You must consume it. Okay, healthy fats, what they do are they're higher calories. That's what every personal trainer will tell you. They will tell you that they're fats, they're high fats, and compared to protein and compared to carbohydrates, you should stay away from fats. If you don't eat fats in your diet, you cannot break down the protein you consume. They do contain 9 kilocalories per gram compared to protein, which only contains 4, and carbs that only contain 4 as well. So that's just worth noting. But if anybody's telling you otherwise, to take it out of your diet, you need it every single day. Okay? What it does is it breaks down the likes of the proteins that you consume on a daily basis. It also helps with regulating your hormones, which is so important in women and men as well. So I've just got the tofu.
What's in the pan, Coleman? I can't see.
This pan here is extra virgin olive oil and straight in there.
All right, got that. All right.
Extra virgin olive oil in the pan. That's what we did. That's all that happened here. So in next is your tofu is the next item. Tofu.
are you putting in a whole tofu?
What I did was I took a section of the tofu. Okay, so about a third of that packet. I know the full packet is 500, so a third of a 400, so a third of that is maths on top of your head. A third of 4 is
I have no idea.
Yeah, we'll call it 500. Much easier.
130 something, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah, 133.
133. There we go. 133. And in that, in 100 grams of this is an important one. This is an important one. 100 grams of this contains 13 grams of protein. So if we do a third of this, that means it's about 17 grams of protein per 100 grams. That's about that big. So in that, a third of it, look, my fist, a third of it is 18 grams of protein. And that is important for you to hit your protein targets on a daily basis. Protein is really essential, not just for building muscle, really does help with the muscle. But what it does is keeps you fuller for longer, really keeps you fuller for longer. So tofu, a third of that tub goes straight into the pan. That's it, nothing to it. In there, I just mix it up like so. 1, 2, 3. And you go further up, you mash it. You kind of turn it into kind of a scrambled egg texture.
Oh, scrambled eggs. All right. So I have
Scrambled eggs, can't
eggs.
go wrong there. Same with eggs. If you're going with eggs, you go eggs, winning. Go straight in the pan. Eggs would be beneficial. Yeah.
One more tofu for someone who's never tried. It is very bland. It doesn't actually have much of a flavor itself. And it's also spongy. So I really often marinate it in my favorite stuff because it kind of can take on however you, it can be Asian, it could be like eggs, it could be, it's really easy to sneak into soup, dice it super little. I have kids that I always have to fight with on stuff and they're not really willing to try new stuff, but it's so bland that you can really make it however you'd like, just to marinate it quick. And it's not long either, even if you have it in a where you cook.
Pushing up.
That's a really good point.
Good
And
idea.
how long would you marinate? Would you marinate it overnight or just a couple of hours, Rihanna?
It depends how long I have to plan. I've done it for an hour or two, but I've also done it overnight before.
Exactly. It's a really good point because it actually is like a sponge. If you ever look at it, if you ever see it, it just has that texture. And I would always add spices to it. Just like, for example, people say, what's tofu like or tempeh? These are both plant-based protein sources that I have and I recommend people to try. Why? Because they contain that fiber, good for your gut health, and easier to digest than meat, reduces bloating. And people that reduce bloating, okay, they feel much better and they digest food a hell of a lot better as well.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I seen it when I was shopping last week and I was like, I'll get it, but I never bought it. So I'll try it now next week.
Good, try it. And you can try this recipe. And what I'll do is, anybody that's on here, I've recorded this video. So as a result of that, we will definitely be sending this out directly linked to you. So as a result of that, you'll have all this to check out this meal in full. So next thing that's going in is your winner of tempeh. What goes in here now? I can't forget. Turmeric. Turmeric is a natural anti-inflammatory. That gets sprinkled on, just lightly sprinkled, and that just gives it that high antioxidant herb that's going in there. Okay, that's not unbelievable to taste. So steady.
Oh, that's good.
We can then add in either, curry powder or cacao powder or this absolute game changer. If you don't have this in your life, you need to get it. It's unreal. It's organic veg stock. It's a real simple one. So all we've done so far is literally chop the tofu, put it in the pan, and we've cooked it just lightly. We're cooking it all the time. But this is the game changer. You're adding in turmeric, but to activate the anti-inflammatories in turmeric, you must add the black pepper. You have to add it. So, mix it up.
Where can you buy that veg stock?
I get it in Holland and Barrett. Holland and Barrett, or you can get them online directly sent to your door. Holland and Barrett is, I think it's an English-based company, but they're in most health food shops. And I think that's available, Ash, am I right in saying that, in America as well?
I had to order mine from Amazon. I actually have another jar coming this week.
It's unreal. It's so tasty.
This is one of these strange things. I can hardly buy anything in my corner of Scotland, but my local Tesco has that. My local supermarket.
Oh, wow.
We have nothing else. I mean, sometimes you can't even buy chicken or, carrots. But you have that. It's a bit strange.
That's going to be the biggest change.
I guess you're lucky though, kind of.
I've stocked up.
So what we went in with there was turmeric has gone into the pan after the likes of the tempeh. The turmeric. So black pepper, turmeric, a sprinkle of this stuff, lovely. Okay, then we're going into add our greens. Okay, greens go in a separate pan. Grabbing your greens, spinach, a rocket, arugula, anything that you have at all. Okay, the darker the color, the higher the antioxidants. That is what as simple as I can possibly cut it. Okay, and we're just going to chop that up as finely as we can. It'll cook the hell of a lot quicker. And we slice.
Right.
We shred. And this actually one that I have here, okay, I grow it myself. It's rainbow chard. It's so easy to add. So easy to grow, and then once you have it, you're a winner. You get it at country markets, you can also get that. It's really simple kind of foods.
No.
It's relatively one of the easiest crops to grow. And for spicing that, okay, you can add your cayenne pepper, which is something that's extremely spicy, but is beneficial towards improving your blood flow. Anything that improves your blood flow is beneficial. Why? Because every vitamin and mineral in your body is carried in your blood. When you do that, that means all your vitamins and minerals get to the part of your muscle, get to a part of your brain. The brain being one of the largest muscles in your body. That means you think clear and you're able to repair faster because more vitamins and minerals get to your muscles and or your brain or anywhere else in your body. So anything that improves your blood flow. Exercise is beneficial for the exact same reason. Okay, cold shower exposures, not so nice, but still beneficial. Saunas, really good for improving your skin health. Sweating out toxins, that's a winner. Cayenne pepper can also make you sweat, but don't add too much. Here. This stuff is spicy. This is spicy down some. Take your handy on it. Easy stuff. So all we're doing now is we've mixed up our tofu in the pan, extra virgin olive oil. We've added our high antioxidant spice turmeric. Then we put black pepper. We've sprinkled it on. Winning. That goes in. Seasoning. We're cutting up our sourdough bread, fermented. Okay, as the added advantage of, as I said, fermented, naturally increasing the likes of your gut microorganisms, and as a result of that, again, 90% of your serotonin is produced in your gut. So we slice our 2 slices of bread, bish bash bash, get a plate. We're nearly there, and pop that on it. Then the healthy fats, again, super beneficial to your body. If you're looking to improve your overall health, you have to have healthy fats in your diet. A spoon here would be unreal, and we'll grab one and we'll scoop out this here and use it like butter. So not to say that butter is bad, but the added advantage of an avocado over butter is that it has fiber. Okay, butter doesn't have fiber. That's important to note. It's the only fiber. So you're scooping that out.
But we were mentioning the garlic in.
The garlic can go into the turmeric, which I'm so glad that someone reminded me of that, because I did not have it. If you're lightly dicing up that garlic, and that goes into the turmeric. So you either crush it or dice it up right fine and small, and that goes into with your turmeric, okay? Garlic is one of the beneficial fiber foods that contain a type of fiber called inulin. Inulin is also found in leeks, in onions, and in dandelions, because that seems to be a real hot topic on TikTok at the minute. Dandelions, crazy stuff. So you can either add onions or you can add garlic to that. So we're lightly cooking it in the pan, leaving it simmer, winning, and there you go, sprinkle it on. As that's cooking, okay, get back to mashing your avocado in a bowl with a fork, or just scooping it out and popping that onto your bread. And much easier to try to get a ripe avocado, but it's like trying to get sometimes blood from a stone. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. That's going on straight away. Avocado, beautiful. Mash and grab. And with sourdough bread, it's important to remember that it actually does contain a certain amount of protein. Bread does, but it's not a complete protein. So that wouldn't be something I would necessarily focus in on to hit your protein target. Always think about complete protein sources. That's either tofu or tempeh. Hemp seeds, there's another one. We can, if you have those, would be something I would sprinkle on this as well. If that's protein and a complete protein, you can always add to your diet.
What about chia seeds?
Chia seeds, yes, that is another thing that I do have, I'm sure, in front of me. Wait 1 sec. I do. These are the things I recommend. Chia seeds. Chia seeds are something that do contain healthy fats and protein, and you can definitely add those to your diet. What I would recommend even before that, because they are missing some of the essential amino acids, that's not majorly important. It's kind of like saying this is a nice dress, but it doesn't have the zip on the back or something. That was a really kind of girly example. But I'm trying to think of something that's relatable. They're pretty good. They're pretty good. But this dress is even nicer. This dress. So I highly recommend to get your hands on these. You don't have to get these, lads. These are an Irish-based company. But hemp seeds, you can get them. And this is what they look like. All right. Well, open it.
Yeah, 'cause I have the chia seeds and I use them a good bit, but I have heard of hemp seeds, but I've never actually got them.
Lovely. I'd recommend them. You can sprinkle them on porridge, oats in the morning. You can put them into a lunch like this, and or put them into stir fries. I make a chia pudding with this, or steeping these overnight is important. Again, it makes it easier to the body to digest. Anything where you add something that makes it easier for the body to digest, we get to absorb more of that. When you absorb anything a little bit more than you previously would have had, it's the added advantage of you getting most bang for your buck out of the foods that you eat. So that's, I suppose, a simple point to add those chia seeds to your diet. You can make a chia pudding is something I have on one of the Organic Fitness meal plans. I'm sure that's one of the options. But it wouldn't be on its own. It would definitely have nuts and seeds, and pumpkin seeds are something I add to my diet regularly. Okay, zinc is good for your immune system. Okay, and they contain healthy fats too. So I would have those regularly. In fact, I would have them daily. Okay, zinc is also important for testosterone, but we don't ever worry about women need testosterone just as much as men, but not for the same reasons. But the immune system is important to improve that with the likes of zinc. Okay, you can also take zinc tablets, but I much prefer to eat the likes of nuts and seeds and things like that. So we're not a million miles away. This is quite a simple dish. So again, that garlic's been skewered or being added to the flavor all the time. We're mixing it, or we should have mixing it. And what you could do then is we'll give it another 60 seconds. As a result of that, we'll pop it on our plate. We'll add our greens. We'll sprinkle over our next item, which is the final finishing spice. It's cayenne pepper. That's pretty much it. You're done and dusted. Pour yourself a cup of tea. If I had a cup. Too many. Cup of tea. And you're pretty much ready to rock and roll. Someone asked me today about how much fermented foods would I have on a regular basis. It's a very good question. And the fact is that fermented foods are really beneficial, whether it be sauerkraut, whether it be sourdough bread, tofu and tempeh are both fermented. Too much, you can have too much of a good thing, because those things naturally increase the absorption of your fat soluble vitamins, and all of the vitamins naturally increase in your microorganisms. But if you have too much of that, what ends up happening is it causes a high histamine. So for anybody who takes histamine or has hay fever, they take histamine tablets. That can be symptoms of what we call mild asthma or runny nose or runny eyes. So you need to increase or reduce down the amounts of fermented foods that you have and increase the amount of natural antihistamines, such as greens and nettles. Stinging nettles is another one that you can add in, or bone broth. I would highly recommend. That's a really good question I got asked today. So we are pretty much, I'm going to say, ready to rock and throw this up. Does anybody have any questions that would like to even answer specifically to them and or while we're in on the live here today? For the nap, we'll wrap this up. I wonder what time do we start even, because this is how quick you can make this meal. There's no messing around. Greens are taken out, placed on our beautiful cayenne pepper. Sprinkle that on. And that is a brand new thing, so we can't open that just yet. And after Uncle, sprinkle of this. I'm going to say that is something made in less than 15 minutes. No messing around, complete proteins, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates. Okay, it's a balanced meal. It's all single ingredient organic foods. We're going to check this out. We'll come on over to the table and we'll have a look to see what the story is. I need to turn off the oven. If you can do it at the same time. Magic. I did it with one hand.
Oh my God. All right, I'll show you mine. You want to see mine?
How did you go, Danielle? Let's go with it.
Yeah. I don't know. Is this it?
Kim, can you go grab that toaster, please? Oh, fucking on.
Oh. Sorry.
So,
Oh,
this is the meal that I would recommend you to have either on a daily basis or on a regular occurrence in your diet, just due to the fact that, as I said, the fiber is key. The greens are massively high in vitamin or all antioxidants, vitamin C being a good one, magnesium. Most people are not eating enough magnesium. If you don't have enough magnesium in your diet, it can naturally increase your anxiety. Magnesium is one of the first deficiencies after iron that's low in people. So a lot of people take either antidepressants or high magnesium supplements. It's just something that you can get from whole foods with the added advantage of that crunch. Do you know what I mean? It's lovely. And I can even show you a couple of other different things. But that's how easy it is to make that meal. It's simple, it's easy, it's quick. And those are just a couple of other different vegetables that I got from my organic fitness shop today. Carrots, peppers, okay? All these things you can add into your diet throughout the week. And what I do is, just like a fruit bowl, I leave a veg bowl on the table. It makes it much more clear for me to see exactly what's going on. So I can see, instead of leaving the spinach bag or the carrots at the end of the fridge, pushed in a bag, squished in on top of something, by the end of the week, you have moldy carrots going off. And especially when you get them organic, you don't want to waste a thing. And what I'm going to do today is also make a fish stock. And that's just because I went to the country markets and I was there and I got some fresh mackerel from the fishmonger and he gave me a head of a fish. And I'm going to make a bone broth out of that. Bone broths are so beneficial towards your skin health and your gut. Okay, it's the likes of the collagen that can naturally improve your lining in your stomach. Literally, gut health is linked with so many different benefits. Okay, increased energy levels. You know how hard it is to actually sit here in front of this and not eat as much as I'd like to.
Eat it.
I have to do a taste test. Could be unreal.
You were talking about magnesium there. I actually have a powder form of one as well. Are they worth having? I know you're saying it obviously it's better through food, but it's like a powder form one I take, and I kind of take it at night before I go to bed. A spoon of it.
That's a really good time to take it. So to answer your question straight away directly, is it good to have it? It certainly is beneficial to have it. It's just that you get added advantage when you eat greens. So if you started eating more of these, you would get more from it, and it would save you money on a supplement as well. So that's the whole grand scheme of it. And fiber actually improves your sleep as well because it's satiating. And when your body is satiated, you're like, oh, thanks a bit of Jesus, I can go to sleep now. Or a bit more comfort. And that's true the magnesium as well, because it's true fiber and true the vitamins such as magnesium in it. It's kind of going, yes, I have what I need now, and I can rest. I can add ease. Get the feet up. And that's just a realization when you do eat. Like, not enough people are eating and taking the opportunity every single time, either for breakfast, add in spinach. For lunch, I'm going to say this is lunch. The fact is that you can add in, we'll call it, you can add in rainbow chard. And then for dinner, you could add in broccoli. You could add in what we high in magnesium as well. Kale, exactly. Any of the dark leafy greens, rocket, arugula, kale, spinach, rainbow chard are the top 5 high magnesium foods. And that's the dark leafy greens. Then you go into chickpeas, you can go into any beans, black beans, kidney beans, they all contain magnesium as well. So your I'm going to say give you 3 greens or 3 items, vegetables that are high in magnesium. Any of your greens we just mentioned. Peas, beans, and lentils all contain those type of magnesium too. The third one is pumpkin seeds. So having those things every single day will reduce down your cost to your supplement. And some of those supplements can be expensive. And a lot of people, I don't know what the price is. I don't even want to ask you. The thing is, you don't have to tell anybody. It can be expensive. But if you got pumpkin seeds, if you had greens every day, and if you had a little bit of chickpeas, a couple of spoons of it, you'd be a hell of a lot closer to your magnesium requirements on a daily basis from whole foods with added fiber, with added benefits for more energy.
Yeah, because I have, like, I'm more aware now of eating the greens, like, with every meal or 2 of the meals at least. But I suppose where I originally got it was when I was training, because the trainer was saying, get it to help your muscles, I don't know, recover faster or something. So that's why I originally bought it. But I kind of just continued getting it then, not knowing. So it's just like, is it really worth it? But I think it is. I think, like, but I suppose additionally,
yeah, it's good. And were you previously sleeping as well, or were you as anxious or as calm as you are now as a result of taking the magnesium? What was your previous experience of that to what you were to where you are now?
I noticed I wouldn't be as sore from working out after I took it. That, like, if I had the trainer and then that night I took it, I wouldn't be as sore and stiff the next day. But for sleep as well, because I find it hard to kind of nod off to sleep. But once I'm asleep, I'll sleep till the cows come home. But, like, it's just falling off to sleep.
And that's what it does. It relaxes the body. So if you're sleeping better, and what it actually does is another added advantage of magnesium. It's used in energy. It gives your body energy. It helps make ATP, which is it helps use carbohydrates from breads, oats, any carbohydrates. All vegetables contain carbohydrates, pastas, and all those things to make your body use that. So literally, it helps petrol get used in your engine. That's exactly what it does. And then when you say you sleep better and you're recovering from your training, that's because all of those things are directly linked to magnesium.
Cool. Thank you.
Good question. Right, shoot me up with other questions there.
Can you have too much of any of the greens?
Can you have too much of the greens? Of course you can. You can have, again, as a such time, you can't have too much of a good thing, but it's rarely the case. Like, it's more so often than not that you are under eating it. And if you are overeating it, what can become an issue is diarrhea can be an issue. But for the most part, most people don't ever come close to having excess amount of greens in their diet. And how you would know that, again, is through your stool or how you are generally your bowel or your stomach is feeling on a general basis. But if you're eating 2 meals, if you're currently only eating maybe 2 meals a day and you still feel absolutely fine, I'd be trying to add it into another third meal and see how you go. And it isn't like most people don't eat it twice a day. And most people, I'm going to say, no one here is eating it 3 times a day. Would I be correct in saying that?
Yeah.
The odd day.
You did. But it's good. Good. And that just means from whole foods, you can get a hell of a lot closer towards your requirements of not only magnesium, vitamin C, and then iron. 3 tablets and supplements that are typically taken, and or people going, should I take a multivitamin? You can. Multivitamins are beneficial. There's no vitamin that isn't beneficial towards the body, but every vitamin and mineral is found in the soil. And what's grown in the soil, organic food or vegetables, and for that matter, and when people get it from whole foods, you're just getting so many other different things with it. And when you do it, it's much more social. I know what I'd rather have. I'd rather sit down here in front of this plate as opposed to just taking a magnesium tablet or a scoop at night. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of difference to it. Like that's enjoyable. You make that for 2 or 3, you make that for a family. Just double up the dosage, triple up the dosage, and you're on a winner.
Is there any?
I have to say that was actually very tasty.
Good, Catherine. Love that. Like, and 15 minutes. I'm going to say I can make it in 10 minutes if I'm not trying to think about 6 different multivitamins and what's coming up next and chatting. 10 minutes, that'll be made, no bother. Absolutely no bother at all.
Yeah, it's good.
And with the tofu, so do you always just mash it, kind of like scrambled egg, or would you do it a different way as well?
For making this dish, I typically try and make it look like scrambled egg for not only myself, but for family members and friends that come over that are a bit kind of iffy about it. They're a bit unsure. It's kind of like,
Pretend it's not in there.
yeah, like what is tofu Coleman? I don't know what that is. You know what I mean? I'm full. Don't even tell him. Don't even tell him. Just sneak it in. Just say, I made this for you. And I get people over here at this moment in time, and I kind of, what I'm trying to do is record a podcast or cook something and record a podcast and talk about the topics that we're discussing. That's kind of something I want to do in the future. And with anybody that I've had so far on either in my house, just as friends or family members, no one has ever said to me, Coleman, that tastes disgusting. But it's down to the spices that you're going to use. And I'm not just lying or telling you that just because we're on here. The fact is that most people enjoy healthy foods when you add in the spices to them.
Move. I gotta sit.
Like flavors are key. Like,
And when you said it's not as bloating as meat, I'm like, I never knew that about it.
I never did either.
red meat is very hard to digest. And like I'm from an Irish family. My typical up to 5 years ago, when I was living at home, mom and dad, brother and sister, sporting background, played GAA my whole life in soccer and football. Monday was lasagna, red meat. Tuesday was chicken casserole. We had either some sort of maybe meat source again, couldn't tell you, maybe steak on a Thursday. Then Friday might have been fish. Saturday was pizza with pepperoni. Then Sunday was the roast chicken. So 2, if not 3 meals out of the 7 would have been red meat. And I was never overweight, but I was bloated and I wasn't, we would call it as flat stomached as I am right now. And that was down to the excessive amount of red meat in my diet. And then I would have had burgers and chips after we were at events and things like that. And there's nothing wrong with red meat. I'm just saying that a lot of people haven't tried this and they go, Jesus, I don't know what it is. No, that's only for vegans. I'm not a vegan, I'm not a vegetarian. I'd say just try a couple of them meals and add them into your diet for different vitamins and minerals and for easier digest and added fiber, added benefits. That's just something that I do, and what I do is what I recommend. I don't force anybody to pick a diet. I do train vegans and vegetarians. I train someone who's currently on the keto diet, which I don't recommend because it's really hard. And the fact is that these are balanced meals, and they just have, as we were saying, magnesium. They have protein, they have healthy fats, and they have carbohydrates. That's exactly what the body runs on. Simple meals.
I just like the fact that you have bread with it.
Yeah, bread. Like, there's nothing wrong with bread. There's nothing wrong with bread. I'm not aware. Like, people must have just went, you know what? I'm not fond of bread. I'm having it. Bread is out of the diet. And what can happen too, I'll tell you another point about bread. People say, do you know what? Sarah, you have to lose a load of weight. What did you do? Oh, cut bread out of my diet completely. That's it. Cut bread. That. And I say, oh, Jesus, lads. Sarah's looking well. I'm getting rid of bread. Bread's gone. That's it. Catches the bread and throws it over her shoulder. But what happens there is, the fact is, you take out any one food out of your diet, that is most possibly, certainly going to help you lose weight. Would I be right in saying that? Because, okay, carbohydrates and something you have on a regular basis, you take out bread out of your breakfast, you take out bread in the evening for toast, that's going to help you get into a calorie deficit. So that's, for the most part, to lose weight, it's a numbers game, and it comes down to a calorie deficit. And that's something that's worth noting. And this thing says right here now that I have 1 minute left. What I'm going to do is I'm going to end it and I'm going to join it again so we can have a Q&As. All right, we'll go again because the questions are good. We'll keep the chats going again. All right, does that make sense? Okay.
Good.
I'll send you all the link
Same
again.
link.
Same link. Okay. You just stay tuned. You're going to send it straight over to you. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
See you in
All right.
a minute.